Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to FTB Interactions. So it's a little bit since last episode, not a super long amount of time or anything. I did do some moving stuff around, you may have saw that in the thumbnail for the last episode. But I did compact this, so we basically just have one dense cable that we're using coming out of here. And I crafted up a couple things I want to quickly go over. First up, I did make a network tool because I noticed that my controller was no longer running. And it's due to the interfaces. They take 10 RF per tick, and basically it added up, and you could see my energy usage right there. And we didn't have enough power to run it. So what I did was I actually took a moment and I crafted up an MV and this is actually one of the ×4 ones. So it can store up to 4 batteries. And basically, if we pull up the CEU, right here, you can see this one, if we went with just the 1x, it can output a maximum of 512 RF per tick. This one can output a maximum of 2048 RF per tick. So I went ahead and just upgraded that, and I went ahead and made the 4x because it's actually not that expensive, just changing up the wires that it requires. So, and then I just kind of compacted everything into this little area for the time being. And then I also, I crafted up a bunch of stuff and got the interfaces ran that we needed, and I got 3 extras. I didn't put interfaces on these 3. I could put these 3 interfaces on there, but I'm going to hold on to these for right now. And so for right now, we'll just use them as we need them. So, but let's go ahead, and the first thing that I want to do is this modular storage. I did empty this out and dumped it in the one that's down here. Let's go ahead and just grab this. And then over here, let's grab the storage bus that we got from the dungeon. And it's the only one we're going to use for right this second. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up our modular storage just right there. It's fine. We'll go ahead and put that in. And we're going to attach the storage bus there. And do I have any Fluix cable, or am I going to have to make some of that? I'm going to have to make some of that. Okay, that's fine. So Fluix cable, basically I just need to make the Fluix dust. Nether quartz, Certus quartz, redstone, water. And for right now, we'll just move the mixer over to right there. It's good. Autoclave is back in there. Let me go ahead and get this stuff ran. It's going to take a minute. So we'll go ahead and get this stuff put in for right now. I also filled up this cutting machine with water, so that way we've got water if we want to cut stuff, because I've got this one disconnected right now. Basically just kind of open this room up and clear out all the clutter that was piled up in here because we're sort of in the middle of moving things. So, but the network tool, it's actually not very expensive. Just illuminated panel, calculation processor, and then a Certus quartz or nether quartz wrench. They're crafted in an identical manner, and then a chest. So, and this you can go through and you can basically just right click and you can just see what all is part of your system. You can see how much power it's using, and that way you can kind of use that as a reference when dealing with this stuff. So this should be okay. This needs more liquid starlight. Let me pop up there and go grab that real quick, and then we'll get the Fluix crafted up. We'll make 10 of it, and then I can get some Fluix cable. And we'll get on with what we're going to be doing. Oh wait, my bad. It needs to be in this mixer, and I've actually already got Fluix in there, so yay me. Yay, okay. So, that was a derp on my part. I forgot that I didn't pay attention to the EU per tick. Okay, so let's grab that. And then we just have to macerate this. And the polyethylene, I can't remember if I have, okay, I don't have polyethylene in an assembler. I'm going to add it. Now, one thing is, eventually what we're probably going to do, well, there's actually a lot of recipes here that'll use it. But I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to put it all into the advanced assembling machine because we're going to be needing that one anyways for what we're going to be doing. So let me just grab honestly, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab that, and that's going to start filling back up. Okay. 20,000 should be enough for us for the time being, I think. And we'll just dump that into there. Our macerator's done, and then I just need the quartz fiber cable. And I can't remember, does this just make one of them? Is this, I can't remember if this is like each. Yeah, this is each. Man. You work for some AE2 in this pack, I gotta say, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and grab that, and what we're going to do, we're just going to plug that up, and then here in a second, what we're going to do is we're going to see some of that Fluix coming into here. I'm going to go ahead and dump this stuff into there. Yeah, there we go. See, there's our Fluix cable, because it's being pulled from this. As soon as it finishes crafting that, it dumps it into here, and yeah, there's 2 in there now, so great stuff. We'll go ahead and dump that stuff into there. And if we look in here now, we have some stuff in there. Awesome. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to start taking a look at the circuits. Like I said, I wanted to automate these kind of as we go, so that way it's just going to make our lives a little bit easier in the future. At least semi-automate, and then we'll automate the parts that are missing later, because like the liquid tin, we're not going to do that just yet. The first bit of our automation with AE2 is going to be items, and then we'll move into fluids later. Also, the central processing unit, we're not going to be automating that just yet either. At least not all of it. We might automate parts of it, just not all of it. Like the wafer part. Basically, probably the monocrystalline silicon bull part. We're not going to automate that just yet. We might automate the rest of this, though. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's start with something easy. Let's start with the fine red alloy wire. So basically, we need to teach it how to make red alloy wire. We need to teach it how to make the fine red alloy wire. When you also need to probably teach it how to make to make red alloy ingots, which of course is copper and redstone. Technically, this method here, I guess, is cheaper. Yeah, you can save half the redstone going through this method if you go through the blast furnace. So later on we might change over to that, but for right now I'm actually just going to go with the alloy smelter method because it's simple enough, and redstone, actually we have lots of it. So I'm actually going to go ahead and grab a couple stacks of each of these beyond what we're using. That way we can go ahead and get some in the modular storage. Now later on it will be plugged up with the caches through storage buses, but it'll be a minute before we can do that because we just don't have the materials to make all those storage buses, and the even the power. We don't have that either. We're going to set this to processing pattern, and we're going to add these in. I don't know if it supports okay, it does support shift clicking. Okay, awesome. So we'll just do that, and boom, there's how you make that. Okay, and then to make this, we'll just shift click. There you go. And then to make the fine red alloy wire, we'll shift click. There you go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is let's pull up our interface terminal, and in our advanced alloys, do I want to do this in the advanced alloy smelter or the... I'm just going to do it through the basic alloy smelter, I think. We'll just dump that into there, and then we need the wire meal, which we can just type in here. There's that. There's that. Now right now I can't actually order any of this stuff because, like, for example, if I click this, no crafting CPUs are available. That's because we haven't made any crafting CPUs. We're going to do that though, and hopefully, yeah, probably this episode. Okay, so now what we need to do, now that we've got that automated, the plastic circuit board, which actually I guess I should go ahead and, let's see, it was 2 per craft. Okay, I've got 10 in here. I'm just going to go ahead and dump that into there. And then next up, the plastic circuit board. Of course, there's a couple ways that we can do this. I think for right now, and this part we're actually not going to automate just yet. because it involves a lot of liquids. So, like I said, I don't want to do a whole lot of liquid automation right this second. I don't want to get into that too much right now. And that's just kind of to keep our sanity more than anything, because trying to tackle both of these at the same time would be, I think, a bit much. And it would be a little bit of a strain on our time and resources getting started. It's going to be quicker if we just focus on the material aspects and then kind of switch over, because we need a lot more. We need more bending machines and more just everything. Okay, and then the ethanol, I don't know for sure if or the sulfuric acid, I'm not sure if I have any of this sitting around or not. Let me check. Okay, I don't think so. So we're going to make some of this, and we're just going to go with this method right here, the water and the sulfur dust makes 3,000 sulfuric acid, which is quite a bit. Oh, I've actually got sulfuric acid in here already. Well, I'm going to go ahead and make a little bit more, because it's not going to hurt to have it. And I'm actually just going to bucket this up. Okay, so we've got quite a bit of sulfuric acid. Okay, that stuff's running, and we'll build up a good 16 of those plastic circuit boards. I might actually have some in here. No, I don't. Okay. Now we need to do more of these SMDs. More of each of these. So the Smd Resistor, this is where we're going to start using this assembler with the polyethylene. And this we are going to automate. This is one of the big things I wanted to automate. The polyethylene, we're just going to keep this in stock. But the SMD, we're going to need the fine electron wire. I should go ahead and teach it how to make electron wire for starters. And we're probably going to run out of recipes. I'm probably going to have to make more of them. That's fine. So the fine electrum, we're going to make it through the alloy smelter. I don't think there's actually a cheaper way to make this. And we're just going to go through this method right here. And then the wire mill recipe. And then the fine electrum wire. And then we're going to teach it this right here. I'm not going to do the carbon just yet. Okay, that doesn't do liquids. Awesome. Okay, we're going to have the liquids just automatically filling into this. So then what we'll do is we'll drop the Smd resistor pattern into there. And then let's scratch it. Let's just do it through here. I'm sorry, right here. The alloy smelter is where we're going to have the electrum. The wire mill will be the wire, and the fine wire. And like I said, carbon, we'll handle that later. Now next up, the thin polyvinyl, the silicon. Yeah, it's the polyvinyl chloride that we were using for this. Let's go ahead and teach it this recipe. And actually, while we're at it, let's just go ahead and teach it this recipe also for the gallium plate. Does it have to be annealed? Yeah, it's got to be annealed copper wire. Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to dump those into there. That's going to be our polyvinyl or our polyethylene advanced assembler. So, which the advanced assembler will be able to handle most of our recipes. Later on, we'll probably end up maybe long-term upgrading everything to just one general tier. So maybe this will be like EV or something like that, but not right now. And that's just a possibility. It's not for sure. But basically, we'll have different assemblers dedicated to different liquids. So this one's polyethylene, this one's liquid glass, this one's hydrochloric acid, and so on and so forth. That's the only ones that have liquids in them at the moment. Okay, so I've got 3 patterns left. Let's go ahead and finish out. Let's teach it how to make an aluminum plate through the metal bender. I'm actually going to remove that. We don't want the program circuit part. It's going to already have that program circuit in there. So there's that. And I'm actually, yeah, I'm going to need another metal bender if I want to fully automate this. Because it's going to have, I'm just going to leave this circuit in there. Yeah, so I might leave that alone. And then we'll just make the, if we need to make the aluminum foil, we'll just make it by hand. It actually goes, it goes pretty far. So the thin polyvinyl chloride sheets, these, we won't automate right now, but there's our polyvinyl chloride. Let's go ahead and just grab like a bucket of that, and we'll just dump it into there. And that'll actually go pretty far. So I'm going to set this to, this should be, yeah, it's program circuit 4 as well. So we got to get us another bending machine pretty soon. I might actually make, I don't know if I'll make an advanced one or another basic one. I mean, honestly, the basic ones are pretty fast. I mean, they're fast enough for starting out without a big power draw. But my goal is basically just to kind of get by until we get our new power system set up. So that's kind of what we're working up to, but I need a lot of these circuits, and I want to cut out as many steps as I can and at least have some layer of basic automation to where we can click to craft. It may not be the fastest thing in the world. You know, these machines aren't instant. They're not super powered, but they'll get us by. So that's the main thing. And then, which actually this needs, that's the worst thing. I need another, I may have to make another assembler here in a minute. But the Smd Transistor, this takes the fine annealed copper wire. We're going to have to teach it this processing line in addition to being able to make annealed copper. Oh, and annealed copper is made through the blast furnace. So, with oxygen. 1000 oxygen, in fact. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and just make a big bulk amount of this. And, let's see. Yeah, there's a bunch of oxygen in here. I'm going to grab a full thing of that. Just going to dump it into there. Okay, so that's running. We'll get some annealed copper, and then I couldn't fit all of that in there. I've still got 4,000 in there, so I'll pour the rest of that in there here in a minute. But I've got some annealed copper wire right here. And then I've got to get the gallium plates. This. Ugh. I don't actually have gallium over here, do I? I think that's gallium, actually. Yeah, that's gallium. Okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and use up all 3 of these to make us a bit of SMDs, and then I'll basically just have to process some more because, let's see, yeah, we can get it from processing like zinc, bauxite, sphalerite. Yeah, we've done it before, but I just don't process that stuff a lot. I don't think I've actually mined up stockpiles. I may have to go mine up some stockpiles, but here fairly soon. But that's okay. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to teach you how to make the gallium plates. Just basically anything that we can get automated. Anything, for the most part, will help us out. So it's just basically a process of getting things automated here and there. I've only got 1 pattern left, so I'm actually going to leave that alone for right now. I may not do the annealed copper right now. Let's just go ahead and drop this into the bending machine. I'm sure that there's going to be other things that I'm going to want ran through there. So, and then let's go ahead and drop that in there. Okay, and did I already teach it how to make the... No, I haven't actually taught it how to make the processor itself. Well, but I've got to make that in a separate assembler right now. That's going to eventually go in the assembler next to the one that we've got set up. Okay, but let's grab our gallium plates and dump those in, get that running. And then, yeah, basically I just have to craft all of these. I've got to get another bending machine. This is going to get so annoying. But luckily I'm actually crafting this stuff kind of in bulk right now. So it should go pretty far for us. Because I'm just going to craft as much of these SMD parts as I can. Or not like as much as I possibly can, but just, you know, a bunch. With kind of what I've got on hand here. And then I need the carbon. I'm just going to grab a stack of that. And we'll just throw that into there. Well, I need some of it. And I've got a little bit of fine electron wire. How much did I need for this? 4. Honestly, just being at the point where everything gets picked up and automatically sent over. Whoops, I made the wrong thing there. That's fine. We'll need it later on for those, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just dump it back in there. Okay, so if we take a look here, SMDs, whoops, and I wish, oh, those are actually full stacks. So we've got 1.5 stacks, almost, actually, yeah, comes out to be 1.5 stacks, 1.5, that worked out really strangely well, because I was just making stuff, honestly. Okay, so we can make, well, we can make, I guess, 48 integrated processors now with the SMDs that we've got. The central processing units, we've got 16 of those. Let me just go ahead and grab all of those. And, yeah, I'm just going to grab these half stacks. We're just going to do a half stack of processors to get us started. The plastic circuit boards, though. Oh, we got 16 of those. That was not on purpose. It's a total accident, too. Okay, so this is working out nicely. We'll get 16 processors made, and that'll go a little ways, anyways. And then I've got to make some more fine red alloy wire. That's fine. Let me go ahead and just grab 12 and dump it in there. And then each of these is basically 1 ingot of tin or a half ingot of the soldering alloy. I'll go ahead and make a bit of this. And I'm going to go ahead and make a recipe as well. We won't be able to make use of it just yet, but we will. So antimony dust, 10 ingot, and that makes 10 soldering alloys. And we'll just dump this into the alloy smelter. Just going to dump that in, get that running. Okay, so that'll go a good ways for us. Now we're actually going to start making things in bulk. It's going to be great. Actually, I think making these 16 circuits, because we never actually made 16 in just one go like this. This is going to finish out this quest here and get us a bunch of parts. Most of these we aren't actually using for this stuff, but we will use them, you know, for something. It's just not going to be our automation setup for making circuits. But let's see, our red alloy. Let me get this stuff going. I think our steam is handling this okay. It's not doing too bad, I don't guess. I hate when it does that, when it doesn't compact the equal stacks on its own, but I'm just going to do 10 of these for right now, and we'll dump this into the fluid extractor. It's actually going to be more than what we need, since each of these does 2 circuits, but okay, and we've got annealed copper and monocrystalline silicon bull in there, so if we need them. Okay, and we've got a server restart coming up, so I'm going to go ahead and grab like 5 more of those. While the server's restarting, dump that in the fluid extractor, and let that run. And we should be, yeah, our fine red alloy wire, we've got 62 of that. Okay, I'll be back in just a second. Okay, server's back up, and I went ahead and dumped everything into here, and it's running and making our integrated processors. And you remember when we made these before, like with the SMDs, and it was a lot more effort. Now it's a little bit quicker, and it's going to get even quicker. We're going to just click to craft. Now eventually we'll upgrade it again, because that's one thing about GregTech. You'll find yourself, you know, revisiting recipes and changing them. So once we get up to this tier, which I want to say that's EV, maybe so. But anyways, we'll get the system on chips, and this crafts in 2.5 seconds instead of 10 seconds, and it's a bit cheaper, not needing all of this, just taking that right there. But I will say, crafting these, a whole lot easier this time around, and we just completed a quest. We just crafted 16 of these things like it was nothing, and then soon enough, like I said, we'll just click to craft. So we'll go ahead and take all of our rewards. Lots and lots of things. Yeah. And I guess really we could go ahead and craft out, well, they didn't give us any plastic circuit boards, so I'm not going to worry about it. We'll just hold on to this stuff, and whenever we need it, we've got it. But I will say, like, for me, this is where GregTech, I think, will start getting a lot more fun. I know I had a lot of comments before about, there not being a ton of episodes every week, but it was Greg Tech, for me at least, it's very easy to get burned out on. Because there for a while, up until we hit AE2, it's really like just slogging through it. But once you have AE2 to kind of, actually start automating, it's a lot of fun, right? And so we kind of paced ourselves through, and now it's kind of getting a bit more fun. So there'll be a lot more episodes now as we start moving into AE2. Because Greg Tech, I think, is going to be a lot of fun to automate, plus the magical mods and stuff. Okay, so now we should be good to start working on the processor assemblies. This, of course, there is a few steps to this, but we can use the either the SMD capacitors, or we could use the capacitors they gave us for the quest reward, which might be what we do. Let me see. How many? I've got 16 capacitors, which would let us craft out 4. I'll probably go ahead and craft out 4, to be honest, which is going to be half of our integrated circuits, but that's fine. I'm not going to automate any of this because I need more patterns. I could make some more patterns. I've actually got the stuff for that. But this stuff is all through assemblers that we don't have set up yet, so there's not a whole lot of point in it. The small coils, the fine copper wire, and the steel bolt. I need to set up a lathe over here, which I didn't teach you how to make fine copper wire. Let me actually, all these iron plates, let's go ahead and just dump these into the system. And let's go ahead and grab ourselves, oh wait, I need to set this to JEI synchronized. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves some blank patterns. Oh, I don't want to use the energized. No thanks. Let's go ahead and just drop that into there. And let's pull back up the crafting unit. And I want to teach it, I do need to get these plastic circuit boards being made. So I'll tell you what, I'm just going to grab all of this polyvinyl chloride, and we're just going to run it all through the fluid solidifier. I need to make up a bunch more of this. We're going to automate this here before too long. So we'll go ahead and get that stuff going. I need to just make a bunch of these. Yeah, there's 16. And we'll just dump all of that into there. That's going to make us 2 per craft, so we're looking at, I need a little bit more copper foil. Okay, there we go. And we'll grab our plastic circuit boards. That's actually enough for what we need. Then we need a bunch of fine red alloy wire, which we should have that. The RAM that we need, the RAM wafers, I don't know if I've actually got some of these. Yeah, I've got 16, so that's enough for 4. Awesome. So then we just need the small coils, which we can make in the assembler. I'm going to teach it how to do this. So I taught it, what all did I teach it related to copper? Nothing. Okay. Well, then, let's teach it how to do that. And then let's teach it how to do that. And then let's teach it how to lathe steel rods. And then let's teach it how to cut those steel rods. And then lastly, let's teach it how to assemble that. Okay, so then what we're going to do is, let's pull this up. Let's go to the wire mill. We'll teach it the copper wire and the fine copper wire. And, oh, the lathe I don't have yet plugged up in there. I guess I should put that over there and maybe remove something else. But there's the cutting machine, and then the assemblers, what I'll do, we could technically put it into any of these if we wanted to. So I don't know if I want to have one of these that's like dedicated to no liquid. Maybe this one. Yeah, might as well. Because we'll have a lot of things that get crafted through here. So there we go. Nickel, zinc, ferrite, bolt. You can make 4. It's so cheap though, like anyways. I'll tell you what, I guess I'm not using the macerator right this second for any automation. I mean, I'm using it, but not for automation purposes. So I'm just going to set that over here, and I'm going to move the lathe over there. And then we'll just drop this other recipe into there. And I've got some fine copper wire here. We're just going to go ahead and drop in 8 of those. And 8 of those. And get those crafting up. Making our small coils, and that should be... wait, is it 2 or is it 4? Yeah, it's 4 per, but we've got plenty. So, there we go. Okay, and that should be everything that we need. I just need the red alloy. I know I keep searching through this. I don't really have to do that, but and then all of this ran through over here, and we'll get our 4 things, which we'll make this. We'll do the 16 quest for this before too long. But okay, so that's crafting up. And then we'll need our stellar alloy plates and our fluix cable. And I'm just going to do 2 crafts of this maybe for right now. Or no, 3 crafts. 3 crafts. Because I've got 3 crafts worth of stellar alloy. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to grab that. And then we need, 4 redstone. And then we'll drop that into the fluid extractor. Get that redstone processing down. There's our 4 processor assemblies. Awesome. I mean, I could honestly push and get the 16 without too much issue, but I'm not in any rush, honestly. And we'll just drop that extra one into there because we don't need that. There we go, our first crafting unit, or our next crafting unit. We are going to have to get to where we are producing stellar alloy, because now I have no stellar alloy to my name. So this is about all I can do at the moment as far as crafting units go, but we will be getting into that soon enough. But this is actually enough to get us started and in a pretty good place, because we can make ourselves, if we want to, we could do 3 CPUs, which is actually probably what I'm going to do. It means I'm not going to have any crafting co-processing units, which I love crafting co-processing units, but if I can't have any right this second, that's okay, I'll live. This is when my Steam starts to struggle, is whenever I try to run HV through this, it's like, I gotta shut down other things to get it back up and running. So it should start going. There we go. Now it's kicking on. You can see I had to disable the polyethylene setup, basically. Okay, so we've got our crafting units. Awesome. And now we need to make our crafting storage, basically, to make our CPUs. Okay, there we go. There's our crafting units. Okay, so what we're going to do, let me dump this stuff back into there. We are going to make, I think we're going to go for 4Ks to start with. So let's go ahead and pull up our 1Ks. And our 4Ks are going to be 3, I believe it's 3. Yeah, 3 of those. Okay, so we're going to go for 9 1Ks. And they're actually not very expensive. We're going to need 9 redstone. I think this will be a good starting point. If we get 3 4Ks, we'll be in pretty good position. We're going to need some Certus quartz plates, which, if I recall, I can run these through the compressor. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to need 9 Certus quartz. And we'll just dump that into there. Then I'm going to need 9 logic processors. And these are normal stuff. Printed logic circuit, that's rose gold. Rose gold is rose gold dust. It's 4 gold dust and 1 copper dust per 5. So what I'm going to do, I wish there was a way I could make it with ingots. What's that? Blue steel. Okay. It takes rose gold, if I recall, to make blue steel. I'm just going to get enough for 10 logic processors for right now. I'll make more later. But that'll be a fine starting point. Actually, I've got a macerator right here. That copper macerated. And that plus that. There's our rose gold. And then we're going to have to run this through the blast furnace. I believe that's the only way to smelt it. I'm not sure how long it takes. It takes a long time. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, well, while that's running, there's one other thing that we can do. We can take a look at the 4K, and basically to upgrade it, which to combine all this stuff, all you do is you stick it in the assembler with a programmed circuit and your crafting unit, and then out comes that. Yeah, 16K. I mean, I've got a little bit of titanium, but I mean, I could make one good 16K, but it's really not worth it. And then we're going to need polytetrafluoroethylene, which we've got a little bit of that. I don't know if we've got enough. If not, I can make some more of that. But the 4K, we're going to need one redstone each. We're going to need stainless steel foil and quartz glass. That's actually super cheap. I'll just make a thing of stainless. Grab 3 of that. And then we're going to need 18 copper cables, which I've got those made up. I made up a bunch of these a while back in anticipation of getting into AE2 because you use a bit of these. Let me grab our destabilized redstone and our surface quartz plates. Okay, now we're just waiting on the logic processors, which that rose gold is going to take a little while. Honestly, whenever I log off today, I'm probably going to make up like a good stack or so of rose gold and just put it in here and let it run overnight, because it does take, it takes a few minutes each. So we might as well go ahead and stockpile that, because we're going to need, a good number of logic processors as we start moving into AE2. So I should get that stuff running. But I'll be back in a little while once the 9 of these are done that we need. Okay, finally got 6 rose gold. This takes forever. It takes forever. I did make up some more polytetrafluoroethylene. I made up a little bit of it so that way if we need it. I'm not sure actually what all it's used for. I mean, I know we used it for some space stuff. Oh man. Covered cable takes it. That might be something we need to automate. It's actually not that bad to make. It's just got a lot of steps. The crafting storages take it. Creative capacitor. Superconductor cable. Of course, atomic alloy takes it. That's the main use that we've ran into so far for it. But our rose gold. Let's see. Let's go ahead and drop this into the bending machine. Get these ran out as plates. Because we're going to need the plate version to get the printed logic circuits. Man, so many steps. So many steps. And it's getting close to time for bed for me. I'm starting to get tired. I've been on here for a while today, working on stuff, but not quite a while. I think what took us so long last time to make the tetraethylene or whatever, I mean, it's got a lot of steps, sure, but I think what took us so long was, I think we had to make some machines or something for it. Okay, there's our 3 rose gold plates. We'll dump that into there, and then we should be good to get our logic. But since the covered cables take it, I hadn't really looked at the covered cables before, in depth, I guess. I know we had looked at them, but I think we're probably going to automate that before too long. But it's just another like fluid line. What we'll do is we'll automate those fluid lines and have them accessible by our IE system. So that way they're available to it. All these things take a while to craft. I need to make better assembling machines for it. Once we get into power, we might upgrade some of this. Or what I'll probably do is just keep it in stock. That would kind of alleviate the problem. Because it's not like we're crafting these things like mad. But I'm not sure if they're actually used in anything outside of AE2. It doesn't look like it. Just AE2 and then thermic energistic stuff. It's possible some of the higher tier ones are used and stuff, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Okay, so I don't have everything, but I've got this stuff. And, oh yeah, I've got that stainless over here. I need to go grab that. The stainless steel foil. Because we are going to need that. We'll at least get, our first crafting CPU. That's fine. And then I'll get the rest of these crafted. I'm just kind of waiting on rose gold. Like I said, I think I'm going to go ahead and queue up like a stack, maybe 2 stacks of rose gold, because I've got plenty of materials. It's just, it takes forever for it to craft. Is the biggest issue. So, okay, quest completed. I don't think we get any reward for that. That's probably under for all your logistics needs. Yeah, 1K ME storage. There we go. And then let's go ahead and dump in that. And bada bing, bada boom, there's a 4K ME storage component and another quest completed. And now what we need to do is we need to combine this in the assembler with our polytetrafluoroethylene. Any assembler would work. I'm just going to use one of these basic ones over here because that other one I've got busy doing stuff. That. And oh, we need a program circuit set to 0. I'm just going to steal this out of here. This isn't something that we're going to be making all the time. It's probably nothing that we'll end up automating, I don't imagine, but we'll see. Because, I mean, we'll make a lot of these over time, but not a lot in the Greg Tick sense, I don't think. But we'll see. I do want to automate the polytetrafluoroethylene, though, because it's going to be a pain. Okay, next gen crafting advancement. And then what we can do is we can plug this up. Where do I want to plug this up at? I'm actually going to set this first one just right back there. So basically you can make these as a multi-block, so you can have additional crafting storages and crafting co-processing units and crafting monitors. And as long as it forms a square, it has to be a square or a rectangle. It just has to be a box basically. It'll form, and whenever it forms it has this kind of texture, and that basically means that it's working. So now that we have that, what we can do is we can actually go in here and we can request things. Let's just middle click. Let's say we want 1 SMD capacitor. It's going to tell us, okay, we've got the aluminum foil, but we're missing the thin polyvinyl chloride sheets. The SMD resistors, we have 72 at the moment. We can craft that. Okay, so if we order this and we come over here, we should see things going somewhere. Let's take a look here. Final electrum and carbon. Well, it's got all that. Why is it not... it should be just dumping it into here, but... It's what I wanted to kind of troubleshoot here. The SMD resistor. Is it because... Let's see. Here's my theory. What if we had this... Yeah. If we have the... We need to set the things so they're not facing into the back because they're basically clogging up the machine. So there we go. SMD resistors. They get pulled in, and you can see it's clearing out that job. And there we go. We got SMD resistors. And so what I need to do, I need to set these just off to the side. I'm not going to have them auto-importing or auto-outputting. So just off to the side. So that way they're not blocking the entrance for the items coming into the back. Because that was the issue there. And then I can order, say I want... aluminum plates. Do I have aluminum in the system? I do not. Okay. Let me grab some. Okay. Let's say I wanted some aluminum plates. Let's go ahead and just order 8 of these. Order. And if we pop over here, we should see in the vending machine. There we go. But my program circuit's not there. I need to make up some more of these. They're not that expensive, really. But anyways, it's going to start making plates. So between episodes I will probably do a bit. I need to go just mining for glowstone, farm some withers, and all that good stuff, and then I need to make a bunch of patterns, like lots of patterns, and I need to start automating things like iron plates, steel plates. I might already have steel plate. No, I didn't automate steel plates. I automated steel rods and steel bolts, but I do need to get some of those things automated. And that's something, you know, I'll work on that between episodes. And then every additional, like right now I can only order one thing at a time. Every additional CPU that I have, like standalone CPU, means I can basically order one additional thing, because each CPU can handle one order at a time. And then if you have crafting co-processing units for something like, if I was to order fine electron wire, if I had one crafting co-processing unit, well then it could make electrum and make electrum wires at the same time. So as the electrum ingots get done, then it starts making the wire. And then if I had two crafting co-processing units, it could also be doing the fine wire. So crafting co-processing units are super, super, super important. We'll get some of those set up in due time. And one last thing I wanted to look at this episode, we could pull off this. Awesome. We're going to do that. It's kind of why I was holding on to those interfaces, because I didn't want to use them because I'd like to at least get some molecular assemblers. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do one molecular assembler right now, because I really don't have many of these cores and I need to get these things automated, and I can't remember their Westonia. We need to start moving into blood magic so we can do this method instead of having to do the gallium. I really don't like using the gallium. We used a bit of it. I can't remember if it was this episode or last episode, because I've recorded them semi-close to each other, but one or the other. But what I want to do is, let's go ahead and order or make ourselves a molecular assembler. Boom. Luckily those aren't very expensive, because we're going to want a lot of these. I'm going to do my traditional like 4-ring, I don't know, pillar thing, depending on how we set it up. But that's the plan long term anyways. So what we're going to do for this is, actually I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up right back here, maybe. Well, actually, I've got some glass fluids. I need to make a lot of things just to get us ready. I'm going to do some automation between episodes, and I'm going to be making a lot of things and spreading some of this out, because now it's kind of clustered up again. But let's just bring this out. Let's just set up our interface there, and then we're going to set up our molecular assembler there. And what this does is this handles crafting recipes, just standard 3x3 crafting recipes. So if I let's see, for example, one thing you always want to automate pretty quick is just standard crafting tables. So we're just going to say, I'm going to say OR dictionary substitution, so it allows OR dictionary. I think all the metals should be, well, brass and stellar alloy. Some of those things we'll have to make sure that we set. But anyways, we can drop that into there. There we go. It now knows how to make a crafting table. Let me grab all this debark jungle wood, and let's run this through the cutting machine. We're going to be automating wood soon too, through the cutting machines. We'll probably just have a dedicated cutting machine that just cuts wood pretty much. Well, I don't know. We might actually start moving into lubricant, automate lubricant, and that way we can speed up all the cutting machine recipes. That might be worth doing. But now what I can do is I can order crafting table. It's going to say, okay, you got 4 jungle wood. That's good. And we can click that, and you can see it just, a crafting table just popped up in there. And now we've got a crafting table. So there we go. And then I could put additional molecular assemblers off to the sides of the interfaces. That way multiple things can be crafted at the same time. Because of course the interface can have up to 9 recipes, and you can have up to, I guess up to 5 molecular assemblers if you wanted. I usually do 4. And some people do, and especially early on, one thing you can do is I could set up like another interface there, another one there, another one there, another one there. Basically all having different recipes ran through the same molecular assembler. So if you're short on materials like we are at the moment, you could do that. But molecular assemblers aren't really expensive, so I don't think that's going to be what's holding us back. Once we get the cores automated, once we get the Pally's crystals being ran through with the blood magic method, we should be in pretty good shape, I think. on molecular assemblers. That's the main thing holding me back, is I want to get into that stuff. So, but yeah, so now it's just a matter of expanding. I'm not sure where we're at on power consumption. That's something we're going to need to watch. 211 RF per tick. Okay, I think we're in a fine spot at the moment because, like I said, we're going to be moving into power. I don't know. I'm not for sure if we're going to get into power next episode or if we're going to do just a little bit more automation next episode and then move into power. I'm not for sure. So we'll see. I'm going to kind of play around with the idea. But I am going to do a bit of prep between episodes. Just stuff that we did this episode. Just making more patterns. Making more Fluix cable. Making more rose gold. Making more... maybe more interfaces, automating some basic things like making plates and rods and stuff like that, and you know, just filling out some of those things so we have more things available to craft. But one thing I do want to do here soon is finish fully automating the integrated processors, because, you know, there's a couple steps basically related to fluids that we don't have automated at the moment. I want to get polyvinyl automated. I want to get polytetrafluoroethylene automated. Because as here soon we're going to be using a lot of it, so it's something that we do need to get automated before too long. We have a lot of fluid automation coming up, but before that time comes, we'll probably hit power up really good and make. We're basically going to be setting up a power system, but it's going to be one that we can continue scaling out, making bigger, and something that should carry us through until we get to the big, crazy powers that are. That are coming up before too terribly long. So, but yeah, so I'm going to end out this episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're there. We're getting there, like to the point where I can actually click and make small things, but it's going to get progressively bigger, progressively faster, I think, in the coming episodes. So that's exciting stuff. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed it, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys then.